with full coverage of the Auburn Tigers,
Touchdown, Auburn!
the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama. Touchdown!
and everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Hello again, everyone, and good Tuesday evening. Welcome into this, the latest edition of Sports Blitz Live. I am Andy Graham alongside Luke Robinson. We'll be with you for the next couple of hours, taking your phone calls, taking your comments, talking about everything going on in the world of sports. We'll talk about a little bit of basketball.
Athletics so bad.
What?
You wanted to say Auburn Athletics so bad.
I did not. I didn't know how broad I wanted to make it, but, look, basketball, football, spring football is about to come around. We got basketball going on, kind of coming down to cases here. Baseball getting underway. Softball's underway. It's a great time of year, Luke.
Yeah.
I love spring.
Fine. I mean, but baseball is a little more fun for me at the beginning, a little more fun at the end. The middle of baseball is just it's sort of like, it's like life. When you're a child, it's fun. When you're retired, it's fun. In the middle is a grind, baby.
That's a long grind.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for all of you out there being with us this evening. We are brought to you each and every Tuesday evening by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Wonderful place to have lunch or dinner right here in downtown Alexander City. Go and check them out. Great people, great food, great atmosphere there. JR's Sports Bar and Grill. So, again, we'll be talking about Auburn baseball in action tonight, Alabama baseball in action tonight. Auburn coming off a disappointing loss to Kentucky over the weekend. Alabama gets another 100-point game as they take care of LSU. They'll be in action tomorrow night.
We took care of Texas A&M, by the way.
Texas A&M. What did I say?
LSU.
That was Kentucky that beat LSU.
Well, Kentucky beat Auburn.
Kentucky beat LSU. Who am I thinking about?
It's hard to say now. I mean, you're 0 for 2. I mean, you keep swinging at these bad curveballs.
Somebody beat LSU.
No, there's always a good shot. Actually, LSU beat South Carolina last week, and then
that may be true.
I mean, I don't really know where you're going with this,
Maybe
Andy.
so.
I'll be honest with you.
Off
the rails a little early today. No syllabus, no itinerary.
Syllabus. That's what it is. I'm going without a net tonight, and I'm falling and broke a leg.
Like the Flying Graysons.
Poor Dick Grayson.
Poor Dick Grayson.
That never ends well.
Only Justin Clayton, who is listening right now, gets the joke we're talking about.
This is true. So we'll talk about these things and much more. But first of all, the College Football Playoff Management Committee, or some kind of managers, I don't know. It's the first time I've heard of it. They approved a 5+7 format for the playoff.
Look,
but there's only four major conferences, so it'll be the highest ranked group of five that will slide in there.
It's so dumb. And this is, you know what this is? This is Pat Dye throwing Birmingham a bone with Legion Field. The committee is saying, okay, we'll let y'all in the playoffs a couple of times until we break off, which is going to happen. And that's the way it should be. We should not be forced to watch Cincinnati or TCU. I guess TCU is now in a Power 5. Boise State. We shouldn't be forced to watch them get in the playoffs and get hammered by somebody like an Alabama, like a Georgia, because that's what they do. I mean, it's just we just shouldn't have to endure this. If we want to do a playoffs, let's do the 12 best teams. We already have this automatic qualifier thing where see what they're doing. They're also throwing the championship games a bit of a bone. Not really. I mean, they want to keep the championship games because they make so much money. But see, I mean, in a perfect world, you get rid of the championship games now, if you ask me. In a perfect world. I love the SEC championship game. I'd rather it not go away. But why do we have – so you're going to make two of the best teams in the country face off again and play for the title, and then both of them probably get in the playoffs. I mean, if Alabama and Georgia are both undefeated and they play in the SEC title game and it's a 4-overtime game and Alabama wins by 1, then Alabama's going to get the 1 seed and Georgia's going to automatically get the 5 seed. No bye, no nothing. That seems like crap to me.
It does seem a bit. I mean, I'm willing to. I'm like you. I love the SEC title game, but I'm willing to sacrifice it if we're going to do the playoff the right way.
If we're going to do the playoffs the right way, and again,
I'd be willing to go back down to 10 games a year or 11 games a year. I'd go back from 12, but they're not going to do that either.
No. And again, that's where everybody who likes to say, well, every other sport, and we always do this. What they don't understand is, like these colleges, Rick Neuheisel who I sometimes disagree with, but he had a pretty good explanation of it. He said eventually all these colleges are going to be involved in some kind of private equity something. Like Alabama's going to be the Alabama Power, Alabama Crimson Tide, and Auburn's going to be the Great Southern Wood Auburn Tigers or whatever. And, I mean, like Real Madrid. I mean, it's going to be something like that, right? And then we're not going to have all this. The colleges are kind of bloated with who they have. You can have as many managers, as many assistants to the traveling secretaries. You know, you can have all that stuff. And right now, I mean, everybody's like, we don't want to give up all this power we have, because if it is taken over by somebody who wants to run it like a true business, which it is now, which we all admit, then they're going to cut the fat. They're going to get rid of the people that aren't needed, and they're going to expect more of the people that are there. And so they're going to have to run it like a big-time business, like a Fortune 500 business, which it is. And so eventually that's what's going to happen. But meanwhile, we're going to have to endure Cincinnati getting in the playoffs, or, you know, Boise State or whoever else, and it's just not going to be great. But I think if we're going to do 12 teams, and a lot of people push for it, I didn't, a lot of people did, and here it is. So let's get the 12 best in there. Why do we have to keep pandering to the teams that aren't as good? I mean, this is the NFL saying to let me pull out a team. The Carolina Panthers this year, you know, y'all just come on in. We know you're going to get your brains beat in. Y'all come on into the playoffs. Just come on in. I mean, let's not do that.
Well, is this one or group of 5 team going to get a bye?
No. The top 4 highest rated champions
4.
plus the top rated group of 5 champion that will be the group from which they determine who gets the byes. Spoiler alert, the group of 5 champ probably is never going to get that bye. I'm okay with that. The problem with that, and again, just having them in there, is you're kind of, if you put them at the 5 seed, let's say Memphis, LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, and who am I leaving out? I don't know. Arizona State, I'm just picking one. Let's say they all go undefeated, miraculously. Memphis is going to be the 5 seed.
Yeah.
I mean, beyond a shadow. Let's say all those other teams have 1 losses. I bet Memphis is the 5 seed. Because the other teams play tougher schedules, and they're going to, but, you know, because they're in the playoffs. Now, what that means is, let's say Georgia's the 12 seed. They get to play Memphis, which will be a cakewalk. You know, they have to play an extra game, which hurts, but I don't know. I just feel like some of this isn't super thought out. And again, we did it so quickly that we didn't even account for all this realignment, which has certainly changed the game. And yeah, there's.
And how is the Pac-12 still technically a conference for two years, even though they're kind of sharing duties with the Mountain West?
Are they going to have a Pac-12 championship game?
Surely not.
I have paid so little attention to that because I'm like, in my mind, Washington State and Oregon State are just gone now.
Well, I mean, they say they like, we've got the first female commissioner of a Pac-12, and I was like, what do you didn't even have a Pac-12? Yeah.
And I mean,
we're going to save the first one for the female to give her just 2 teams.
What a slap in the face, really. I mean, because they can do it, they might as well just, go all out, have the first everything, because they can say we did it first and we did it before everybody else.
Yeah.
And then maybe at least draw some attention to themselves.
Both of us.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So, yeah, but apparently, the Oregon State and Washington State are going to kind of play a half Mountain West schedule or a mostly Mountain West schedule. I don't know.
I know we got to go to break. I want to talk about something when we come back, which wouldn't have been on your syllabus. Last night I went to the Nick Saban Legacy Award. So I didn't know this was a thing, but Saban for 3 years and I think in conjunction with the Monday Morning Quarterback Club out of Birmingham, they have honored various coaches, past, present, with this award. It's a pretty big deal. Rick Neuheisel was there. Lauren Sisler was there doing the MC work. And I just want to tell some stories from that. But Bobby Bowden posthumously, obviously, and Frank Beamer got the award this year. And there were some pretty cool stories about that. So we'll talk about it when we come back.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and take a break then. And we will gather ourselves and come back and tell some stories about the Nick Saban legacy. More to come right after these messages.
Sportz Auto Sales, Highway 280 in Kellyton, Alabama is home-owned and home-operated. If you're looking for tires, they have it. If you're looking for a vehicle, they have them. Great selection. Always out looking for more just for you, the customer. And if you're looking for service, whether you buy the vehicle from them or whether you buy the vehicle somewhere else, they do service work and got a great crew there. Keep us in mind. Don't you go by Sportz Auto Sales on Highway 280 in Kellyton today.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro continues to excel in making sure our clients have a smooth and pleasant experience with home financing needs. Families are struggling to make ends meet due to price increases and high interest rates on credit cards. Monthly debt can cripple a family from enjoying the special times in life. Property values are holding strong, and now is the time to take advantage of the equity in your home, saving hundreds of dollars a month. No money out of pocket and no payment until January 2024. Call the Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro today.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Karen Chanel, your State Farm agent in Alexander City, Alabama, and the greater Lake Martin area. I want to talk to you a little bit today about your discounts. How many of you are entitled to discounts that you may or may not be receiving? One of the easiest discounts on your homeowner's insurance is that of having a fire extinguisher. Coupled with a deadbolt lock and a smoke alarm, that gives you an automatic discount on your homeowner's policy.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you, just getting started on tonight's show. We are brought to you each and every Tuesday evening by Sunshine Heating and Air. Give Kevin Keel and his crew a call for all of your heating and cooling needs. 256-825-4849. My eyes are not failing me.
Well, they've got to be getting all kind of calls, like from both directions. It's too hot. It's too cold.
Yeah,
we don't even know
true.
what's happening around here.
Yeah, it's 40. It's 29 degrees last night, and it's going to be 75 next week.
It's insane.
Supposedly. So,
all right, so Nick
or
Saban.
71 tomorrow.
Nick Saban Legacy Awards. I didn't even know this was a thing. Got invited to it. Didn't know how big a deal it was.
Where was it at?
It was at Red Mountain Theater, which is sort of a new venue, nice venue. Greg Sankey was there. Greg Byrne was there. As I said, Rick Neuheisel. Frank Beamer, his son Shane Beamer, who's the head coach at South Carolina, was there. Terry Bowden was there.
Of course he
to sort of accept the award on behalf of his dad, Bobby Bowden. And he hadn't changed a lot. It was, he was fine. Saban was really, really, really good. Just spoke really well. He's just. They asked him, "What about how's retirement going?" He said, "For the first time in my life, I'm not worried about being late." He said, "I'm not on time everywhere anymore." And he said, "I'm getting used to that, but I'm beginning to enjoy that."
Yeah.
And so it's pretty cool. I mean, like he's mellowed a bunch. Rick Neuheisel, who is pretty vocal on his Sirius XM show in the mornings, that he's like, "Hey, I want Nick Saban to be the czar of college football and sort of help us figure out what to do here." And I think he'd be good. I don't know if that's the direction that's going to happen, but Saban did go off and say, "Look, my goal," he said, "I've retired, but I hadn't quit working. I'm going to keep doing things to try and help, college football," he said, and these young people, and I also want to continue to work with the University of Alabama as best I can, any way I can be an ambassador for them." And he said, my goal is to make college football the best sport it can be. And whatever that takes. And he says, "Look, I understand that we live in a new time. Kids are going to get paid." He said, he brought up an interesting point. He said, think about this to everybody in the audience. If Bobby Bowden and Bear Bryant were alive, what would they think about today's college football? And everybody just sort of had like a collective groan. And he said, "Yeah, I get that." And he said, "But times have changed. And, I think everybody should be able to get a piece of the pie. But what's happening right now is unsustainable and not good for the sport." And I think he's absolutely 100% correct. He didn't really put forth the solution necessarily, but you can tell he's dedicated to doing it. This wasn't just lip service. But some of the funny things that happened, Mickey Andrews, who was the defensive coordinator for Florida State and under Bobby Bowden for like 26 years, he came out and spoke, and he was like an old high school coach. He comes out, and he starts to tell a story, and he'd go, every now and again, Coach Bowden would say to me, and he'd just stop. And I was like, somebody poke him or do something. I mean, I don't know if he fell asleep, and then he'd start the story again. It was kind of funny. He just had a very country way of telling a story. One story he did tell, Chris Winkie was there. That is a monster human being, by the way.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
And anyway, Chris Winkie talked about how, he signed with Florida State at 11 o'clock at night, the day before he was supposed to start classes at Florida State at 8 o'clock in the morning. He signed his contract with baseball. And he said, I was going to school. He said, I wanted to play football. He said, I called Bobby Bowden. It was the worst call I ever had to make. Called him and said, "Coach, I've decided to play baseball. They've offered me a good deal." And Bobby Bowden said, "Look, you always have a spot on this team whenever you want to come back." So he left for like 6 years, and then he said he was, I think, at training camp or something in Florida, and he went to a Florida State game, or not training camp necessarily. Then I don't know what he was doing, but he was doing something with baseball. Went to a game, and he saw Mark Richt and said, "I think I want to come back." And Mark, they were recruiting, Drew Henson at the time, who ended up at Michigan. And he said, "Well, look, that's great, but we're recruiting this Drew Henson guy. I don't want to muddy the waters here." And he said, "I'm just letting you know, Bobby Bowden said I'd come back if I want to." And so he ended up coming back, ended up doing well. Well, his second season at Florida State, he's now 47 years old. Now, it's a joke. He was like the oldest Heisman winner ever. His second season, they're playing at NC State. His first pass was a 76-yard touchdown. He then proceeded the rest of the game to throw 6 interceptions. And on about interception number 3, he said Bobby Bowden called him over and said, "Son, you know we're wearing white today, right?" And then on the 4th interception, Peter Warwick, who was on the team, who was an incredible player, he comes over to him while he's talking to Mickey Andrews, I think, and said, "Look, if you will just tell me which safety you plan on throwing it to, I'll try to intercept it." It was pretty funny.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, they had some good stories, and Terry Saban spoke, and Frank Beamer's wife spoke. Frank Beamer is not looking great. I hate to say, I don't mean that in a mean way at all. He's just, we think of these coaches, these icons, these pillars of strength, and Frank Beamer just you can tell he's been out of the game a little bit, and obviously he has. He just hadn't been. But I guess it was just a little bit shocking for me because I hadn't seen him in a while, and he had a cane. He walking a little slower, talking a little slower. As we all will. I'm not downgrading him. I'm just saying it's.
How old is Frank? Does he say?
He did not say. But it was just weird to see. Like Rick Neuheisel up there. Now Rick Neuheisel is a lot younger than Frank Beamer, I understand. But Rick Neuheisel been a coach at Colorado, been a coach at UCLA, been a coach at Washington, and I mean. He's a young, pretty vibrant-looking dude, been out of the game. And then you see Saban, who's, early 70s, certainly not old. It ain't as old as it used to be. And he's up there, like Saban still has like this glow about it. I mean, he's looking like he just stepped out of the shower and everybody just did his makeup. And Beamer it was sad to me in the sense that, man, I remember how and I still do. I admired him, and he was great. I mean, he was super to speaking. He had high praise for Birmingham area. That was part of this. Is a lot of these guys have connections to the Birmingham area, and very oddly, a lot of these guys had connections to West Virginia. Saban obviously, Terry Bowden obviously, but they just they had a lot of good. They spun a lot of yarn, and it was quite interesting. And at first I wasn't sure how to take what I was going to because I was like, I don't even know if Saban's going to be there. I don't know if he's going to be there and say like, "Hey y'all remember me? I retired. See you later." Yeah. But man, he's committed to this thing. And Terry Saban and Frank Beamer's wife were both very good. They talked. They asked flat out. Lauren Sisler asked Frank Beamer's wife, said, "Okay, which one's more nerve-wracking, watching a Frank coach team or a Shane coach team?" She goes, "Oh, a Shane coach team." She goes, "Now, I used to get nervous when Frank was coaching at Virginia Tech," and she goes, "I'd go hide in the bathroom and listen for the crowd to see if something big happened." And we've all, if you're a fan, you've done that. I've done that a bazillion times. Sure. And we all can relate to that. But she said, she said, Frank used to say, "Why? That's so dumb. It's going to happen anyway. Just watch it." And she goes, now Frank's standing right next to her in the bathroom when Shane's coaching. So it's pretty funny. But Shane was very good too. He spoke just a little bit, and I mean, he just idolizes his father, which he should, because Frank Beamer is somebody worthy of idolizing. But it's one of those things where you wonder if we're going to have. I mean, we always do. We always say this when people retire, like when Bird or Magic retires, or Dan Marino retires, or Joe Montana. You're like, man, who's going to take their place? Somebody always does. But you think about some of the coaches our age group has had the privilege, and it's different than other age groups that were older because we got to see them on TV more often. You think about a lot of people who are Alabama fans who may not have seen Bear Bryant team on TV but once a year. Now we see every team all the time. And so we know about Frank Beamer. We have like relationships with these guys, whether they know it or not. We do. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm old enough to remember, only getting to see maybe one or two Auburn games a year. And one of those was the Iron Bowl.
Yep.
I mean, this is the way it was.
I want to say that they said Frank Beamer's first 6 years, and again, I'm pulling this number out of the air, so help me. I think his first 6 years he was like 20, 40, and 2 or something. And Rick Neuheisel and Frank Beamer both said there's no way anybody survives that. You don't get to the – it's sort of like George Costanza when his parents were fighting, said, how old would Aunt Baby be if she were alive today? He said she never would have made it.
Never would have.
And that's the exact same thing. Like, you never would get that 6th year if you were 15 and 35. No. You probably don't get that 2nd year.
That's true.
So they talked about, hey, we need to stress the importance of patience. And he said, but in this day and age, nobody has it.
You also ain't getting paid $78,000 anymore. So,
no, yeah, that's another thing. But that is one other interesting.
That's the reason the patience runs out quicker.
That is true, and that is an interesting factoid. There's no doubt about it, and it's 100% true. But old coaches are kind of like Supreme Court justices to me. I watched last week tonight, John Oliver. I mean, he's funny. I don't always agree with him, but it was funny. He was talking about I won't even say which justice. I don't want to start anything, but he was talking about how, they only make about $300,000 a year, yet they're all loaded. Like, what's up? Like the same way with every politician, essentially. But all the old coaches, they only made $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
I hadn't found one that's broke.
No.
Have you? Now, maybe they all have the best investments possible, but I feel like I have not.
Well, most of them are alive still. Got a little dip of the latest in the last 25 years.
Maybe, yeah.
All you need is one.
Yeah.
One good $1 million year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Bear never made $1 million coaching ever.
I know.
And I don't think he ever was hurting.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that helps when you're athletic director. And
yeah.
You can
double dip, and you also have a good retirement through the state and whatever. I know, and I'm not accusing anybody of anything. Go get your bag, baby. But I just found it was a little funny what you're saying.
Yeah. Up against the break here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
SignSource is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need. With top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill. And our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto. Central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
Opelika Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram at 801 Columbus Parkway in Opelika has a massive inventory of quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Every make, every model. Quality pre-owned vehicles are available at Opelika Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram. Located at 801 Columbus Parkway in Opelika and online at opelikaFordChrysler.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. About 30 more minutes in the first hour of tonight's program. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. Can't hear enough about Terry Bowden, surely. You know, it was a great first 2 years. That's about all you can say.
Well, it did. I'll tell you what, the Terry Bowden experience died the moment Georgia tied Auburn.
Yeah, probably so.
I mean, it died just then. Now, you know, what's funny is that game in 94 in Legion Field, I was there. I was still a student. It was an amazing game. And if you remember, like, I think it was Stan White, or was it Pat Nix was the quarterback? Pat Nix was the quarterbacks. And, I mean, Auburn was dry. Alabama went up 21-0. I think Auburn came back 21-14. Auburn's
21-0 in the first half.
Yeah, Auburn's driving, and I mean, like this. It's one of those. Like now, I guess they'd probably review the spot. I hadn't seen it in so long. I don't know, but I remember all the players huddled up around the officials.
Yeah,
and like the officials could not tell if it was a first down or not. I was like, they're going to have to take a credit card and like go in between.
Yeah, no. Bright yellow line.
No bright yellow line, no replay.
No replay, no. I mean, you know, of course, I think Frank Sanders got it, and but you couldn't tell. Nobody could tell.
Nobody could. And again, there's no nefariousness. It's just where they put the ball. And again, it's like it's two older dudes running out with a chain, and they stretch it, and you're like. And it was so close. I mean, it was so iron ball for that
guy did graduate from Alabama, though.
What now?
That guy did graduate from Alabama.
Who?
The linesman.
Oh, my God, y'all.
I'm kidding.
Oh, God. I can't. Listen, I already had to go mano a mano on Twitter with some folks we know after Bruce Pearl's press conference after the Kentucky game where he said, you know, I'm going to send some tape in. And I was like, you're going to send tape in? I mean, for what? There was nothing bad in that. I watched the whole thing. There was nothing. Auburn had fewer fouls, went to the free throw line more. Kentucky had somebody foul out.
I think because Chad Baker-Mazar had to go to the locker room because he got elbowed in the head.
It didn't look that bad.
I didn't think it was intentional. But, I mean, you know, that's the thing a coach does.
Well, and again, and I'm fine with that. And I think every coach send something into the SEC.
Sure.
Not every coach says it in the press conference. Because when you say it in the press conference, you're implying something. That's the only reason you say it. And I'm like, hey.
Well, I mean, it's not a secret that Cal and Bruce don't like each other.
I don't mind that. And I thought it was also equally weird that Cal comes out after the Auburn game. There's no players out there initially, and he comes out and goes, hey, you quit hurting on these players. You quit hating on these players. You say something to me, and I mean, I was thinking, hey, I think everybody has been criticizing you. I don't think anybody's criticizing these players. Like, nobody has in a while. I know on Sports Blitz, Brett and I have been speaking about how he is as underachieving as you can be at that level. Now, I mean, he's still a high level, but he's underachieving relative to the talent he has. I think we all agree with that, right?
Yeah. I think he's the biggest whiner in the league.
And he is look, He is a whiner. I mean, but you could also say Nate Oates. You could also say Buzz Williams. You could also say Bruce Pearl. I mean, if you're not a fan of that, you're going to say they're a whiner. But again, I think when you say out loud, I'm going to send tape to the SEC, I think you're basically saying, I think something funky went on. And as an Alabama fan who watched Alabama play Auburn, and Auburn goes to the stripe 50 times, I'm like, hey, sometimes you go to the stripe 50 times. Sometimes you, on Jalen Williams' dunk attempt, I saw a lot of people upset about that, where he got hurt. First of all, the two meeting at the rim didn't get him hurt. There was the awkward land, and it looked so bad. And I'll tell you the truth, I felt bad for him. I was like, because when's the last time we saw a devastating injury in basketball, in college basketball? It's been a while to me.
I mean, I don't remember another one since the one that the kid from
Louisville, yeah,
and Rick Pitino.
I mean, we saw Zion Williamson blow a shoe out and not get hurt.
That's true.
But college basketball's been pretty fortunate where I don't feel like, who was the kid for Cincinnati when they were so good and he had a nice long career? He's got his son in the NBA now.
Well, I'm being reminded Chumo Kiki.
That
was pretty bad.
All right, Chumo Kiki, good point.
It was, but
that was also very late in the year. That was also in the tournament.
Knees tear.
Yeah.
I was talking about like gruesome.
But I didn't think that was a foul. I thought if anything, you could call it either way. If you're going to call it, it looked to me, Jalen Williams put his hand out and the other guy sort of bodied and he was going back and he had his hand out. I thought that was that's a basketball play. It was unfortunate that he got hurt, and thankfully he's going to be back. But I didn't think that was a foul. I thought that was a good no call. But if you see it, you see Jalen Williams put his arm out too. So if you're going to recognize there was contact, also recognize that contact was also forced on the offensive side, is what I'm saying.
I would say that 5 times out of 6, you'll see that one called.
What a random stat.
I know that was. I couldn't think. I was trying to. It's not 9 out of 10. It's not, but it's about midway. I think you'd probably get a call on that.
I'd say at best it's 50-50. I mean, that again. Is the argument? I mean, didn't Kentucky actually had somebody foul out? They had guys in foul trouble early in the second half. There was also a great block by a Kentucky player.
I don't think he's saying they didn't call it either way. I think he was just saying that there were some physical fouls that were not called that he felt like, maybe even rose to the level of a flagrant one that weren't called. I'm assuming that's what he was talking about.
I have no problem with – I think coaches do send in tape all the time. And, that's a coach's thing. But I think when you say it at a press conference, you're saying, I think something funky happened. Well, and if you're going to make
something funky happen.
Okay, then how do you call when you look at the paper and you look at the stats afterwards and you say, wait a minute, you went to the free throw line more. Kentucky won by what, 10 points, 8 points, whatever it was?
Again, I don't think it's about the number of fouls called.
Okay, so how specific do you have to be? Because if you're going to say, I'm going to say that the evidence shows there's nothing for you to complain about. So what are you complaining about? And again, I go back to, if we're going to call Cal a whiner, which I agree with you, is this not the same thing?
It's a different kind of.
Okay. I mean, I know. And
you cannot compare Cal's whining with anybody.
I agree with you to an extent.
From the beginning to the end, and then in the press conference.
And I agree with you to an extent. But you know how troubling it is to me when people just seemingly blame the refs all the time. It gets so tired. Sometimes you just get beat. Kentucky owned that game from start to finish. I don't know that Auburn had a lead unless it was very, very early.
They did not.
And so it's, again, and it means not very much. Now, it means something in the SEC race. It means, yes, but in the grand scheme, this isn't that big of a deal. I mean,
I did not take that as him blaming the refs. Now you
I do, because I don't see how else you're supposed to take it.
I think you take it as exactly what he said. This was a very physical game.
Okay.
It even rose to the level of being more than physical. And, there were some things that he, I'll send into the SEC.
Why put that in? Why not just do it and you don't have any?
To grind Kentucky. Probably as much as anything.
You don't even play them again.
Well, I mean, you play them next year.
You have
rivalry.
2 totally new teams. That's the other thing, is like everybody swaps out so much.
To flip a finger at Cal, I'm telling you.
So you're for that?
I don't care, really.
I understand. Okay. Then you shouldn't care about Cal whining either.
Well, I mean, I don't. It's a stated fact.
And that's what I'm saying. To me, we spent way too much time.
I don't lose any sleep over it.
Well, man, I'm going to bed as soon as this show's over. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I just think it is worthy of note that saying things like that, again, if Kentucky had gone to the free throw line 50 times and Auburn had gone 10, I'd say, yeah, okay, yeah, he has a point. I'd be like, yeah, something's weird, okay? But everything else pointed in Auburn's favor. And again, it's home court. That's what happens in the SEC. I'm not saying Auburn got anything. At home in the SEC, we have seen, is very, very difficult for the visiting team to win. It's very difficult for the visiting team to get a call. We know this. And I think we all accept it. And frankly, I think it's a coming of age. It's always been that way in the ACC and the Big Ten. I think we're just now getting there. It's not like, I don't feel like Kentucky is getting preferential treatment. If they were, and if we're trying to protect Kentucky, how are they losing at home to Florida and to Tennessee and Gonzaga?
If you got 2 players that have to be helped to the locker room, it was a rough game.
It was, but the contact's not what made Jalen Williams get hurt.
I'm not saying.
And it is a rough game. I mean, have you seen these dudes?
Well, I mean, if there's no defender there, I doubt Jalen Williams he falls down and sprains his knee.
If there's no defender there, that defender's going to the locker room because they've kicked him off the team. You got to play defense.
Well, you're just saying that the defender had nothing to do with it. I'd say he had a lot to do with it.
I don't think the defender knocked him backwards. Jalen, he did. In fact, they sort of both just came down. Jalen's just his knee caught very awkwardly. And it's one of those things, you could do that anywhere. I mean, that was not something that was caused by somebody hit him with such force that he rolled him backwards.
I think we're way behind
probably
on a break. So let's go ahead and take it, and we'll be back with more right after these messages.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this, the Brooks Night Guard. Now, the Brooks Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Bruck's Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to brucksnightguard.com and order yours today.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. Kind of a quick segment here as we try to catch back up. But, again, Alabama coming off a nice win. They get Florida tomorrow night. This one in Alabama or in Tuscaloosa, and then have to travel to Kentucky. So back-to-back tough games here for Alabama. Alabama, though, on a nice run here after the loss to Auburn. They continuing. I mean, man, when they are hitting shots, they are really, really difficult to handle.
Yeah, the defense is getting a little better. I mean, it's going to be tough when they get in the – I mean, all I do is keep looking around, and I've been saying this all year, that it's not a banner year for college basketball. There are a bunch of pretty good teams. I don't know how many great teams there are, but UConn is – approaching great again. Man, they're pretty serious. They just blew the doors off Marquette the other day, and Marquette was number 4 team in the country when they did it. But I feel like Alabama, and frankly, I feel like to some extent too, Auburn, if they can play with most everybody out there. I mean, who scares you? Kansas? North Carolina, they've gone to Syracuse, lost. Georgia Tech and lost. I mean, Clemson beat them at home. I mean, really, I just don't know anybody that I'm thinking, hey, you can't beat them. Alabama, Purdue. Alabama was in the Purdue game the entire time. They just couldn't finish it off. You know, and speaking of somebody that is very difficult to officiate, when you're 7'4" and about 300 pounds, you don't know what a foul is. I mean, to him, I mean, it's hard to call him the same way you call a game for somebody much smaller. So, I think it's going to be an interesting tournament. I think it's going to be fun in the sense that there's going to be a lot of drama, because I think there's going to be a lot of upsets. But it's tonight. Tennessee was having all kind of trouble with Missouri. Again, going back to the difficult to win on the road thing. I know Vanderbilt's been pretty stinky, and I know Missouri hadn't won a game in the league and all that. But I mean, in the SEC, you catch somebody on the wrong night on the road, and it's really bad. But Tennessee looks like they're going to gain control. A couple of comments here. Jerome says, "Why are you not on the radio?" Jerome, we don't know. We're here. We're not listening to the radio. I don't know. Brett Mays says, "Tennessee in a dogfight with Missouri." That's true. Toolman Kirk says, "Luke from Locked On Bama, a celebrity." Let's not go celebrity. But yeah, I am from Locked On Bama.
That's
true. And yeah, I am a celebrity. No, I'm kidding. I'm not at all. Toolman also says, "Luke, what concerns, if any, do you have with Bama going to a 4-2-5 alignment on defense? Do you think you can hold up in the SEC in today's style of play?" Sure, I don't see why not. In fact, I mean, today's style of play probably is, I think, better for that alignment. Now, somebody with a lot more defensive expertise than I would be able to comment, but, I mean, I feel like you got to have a lot of defensive backs. Now everybody's slinging the ball all over the place, and you're going to also have to have some good pass rushers. And I think Alabama's got those. Now, defensive backs, they lost a lot of them. They just brought in Keon Sabb from Michigan in the transfer portal. I mean, this is a guy that was at least a part-time starter for them, very good player, top 100 player coming out of New Jersey, and on a team that won a national championship that had a ballyhooed defense. So, yeah, that's great. There's another Michigan player that may end up in the portal and may end up at Alabama too. And they have the best defensive back in the class in the country coming in. And so, yeah, I feel like you lost Caleb Odom. That sucks. Not Caleb Odom, Caleb Downs. Caleb Odom's there and doing well. Caleb Downs. And that sucks. I hate it. I wanted Caleb Downs to stay. But he's gone. You got to let it go. And so I think Alabama will be okay there. The schedule's going to be really tough. And, I don't really want to comment much on these new hires. Alabama hired some new assistants today and yesterday.
Who's the OC? Promoted from within.
Yeah, and boy, I mean, I wish you hadn't asked me now.
Yeah.
But I haven't even really had a dive into these guys yet because I'm really taking the stance of I don't want to judge any of them yet, and it's hard to. I can't judge them even on what they've done at Washington or any of these other places. They hired Christian Robinson today to be on the staff. He was at Auburn for a little bit. He was just at Baylor. He'd been at Michigan State, played on the Georgia team in 2012, was a captain for that team that very famously lost to Alabama in the SEC title game. They would have won the national championship if it weren't for that. And because they would have beaten the brains out of out of Notre Dame too. And they've hired a new offensive line coach also from Baylor that apparently is old school. But, every time I hear an offensive line coach being hired, no matter where he's from or where he's going, they always say he's an old school, crusty coach. Everybody says that, don't they, about every defensive line coach and every offensive line coach? And so maybe he is. I don't know. I know very little about him. And as Jimmy, my cohort on Locked On Bama, said, look, some fans are like, hey, we don't know these guys at all. Well, you don't have to. That's not important. How many offensive line coaches can you name out there, period? Very few. I mean, there were some folks saying, well, why don't you just hire Matt Luke? Well, what if they don't feel like Matt Luke's a fit? I think when you have an entirely new group like Alabama's got.
He's at Clemson now, isn't he?
I think he is. You have when you have an entirely new group, an entirely new coaching staff, and you're starting an entirely new era, I don't think you should make any judgments one way or the other. I don't think anybody should proclaim Alabama, hey, the dynasty will continue to roll on. We don't know that. The dynasty is dead. We don't know that either. I think that we just need to, let's let him get on the field, see how he does in the SEC, because it's different than Washington. But it also remains a fact he was very successful at Washington, been successful everywhere he's been. That doesn't mean he's going to be successful here. I'm just taking I guess I'm getting older. I'm taking a wait-and-see approach.
That's probably you need to. Go ahead and take another break. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after these messages.
Glenn Smith GMC and Opelika invite you to discover extraordinary deals like this powerful all-new GMC Sierra 1500 Pro, now up to $12,500 off. Purchase the roomy GMC Terrain SLT, discounted up to $8,750 off. And the GMC Acadia with 3-row seating, discounted up to $6,000 off. Enjoy no payments till summertime at Glenn Smith GMC. Over 300 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way. Get ready to smile.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
You don't have to ask who, what, or why. Who's Diner is the go-to place for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Conveniently located at the corner of Highway 22 and 280 in Alex City, Who's Diner offers the best meals and the best deals in town. Try our fresh, made-from-scratch pancakes, chicken salad, Philly cheesesteak, or the Who Burger. It doesn't get any better than who? Who's Diner, of course, on the corner of Highway 22 and 280. Who's hungry?
Main Street Family Urgent Care.
Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care opens 7 days a week.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
It's truck season at Sarah Automotive. New Honda Ridgelines, $349 a month. Ford Rangers, $357 a month. Nissan Frontiers, $379 a month. And Chevrolet Silverados, $399 a month at Sarah Automotive. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty, no charge, engine, powertrain, and more. It's truck season at Sarah Honda, Tony Sarah Ford, Sarah Nissan, and Sarah Chevrolet.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. Just one more segment in the first hour of tonight's program. When you look at the contenders here, Alabama has positioned themselves in a great place right now, 10-2 in the league. Florida at Kentucky, at Ole Miss, Tennessee at Florida, Arkansas. That is their finishing stretch. Tennessee right now 9-3 in the league. At Missouri, Texas A&M.
They're winning that game.
Auburn, they are winning at Missouri. They look like they are going to handle it.
They'll pull it out. I mean, they're up 9 with 6 minutes to go. I mean,
yeah, they feel pretty good.
It'd be miraculous.
All right, Texas A&M, Auburn at home, at Alabama, at South Carolina, Kentucky at home is where they finish. Auburn has Georgia on the road, Tennessee on the road, Mississippi State at home, Missouri on the road, Georgia at home. South Carolina 9-4 as well. At Ole Miss, at Texas A&M, Florida, Tennessee, at Mississippi State.
Is South Carolina at Florida in there too somewhere?
South Carolina is got Florida at home.
Okay. Well, I think 2 weeks ago, I think we would have thought Auburn may have the most difficult stretch. Now I think they got the easiest stretch. That's how quickly things change. And I look at Tennessee's stretch. That is certainly
I don't know.
not easy.
How about Florida? They got
Florida stretch is
outside of at Alabama and Alabama at home. They got Vandy, Missouri, at South Carolina, and at Vandy.
Yeah,
So,
that's true. No, okay, I discounted them because the way I'm feeling is Florida splits with Alabama. Okay, and that gives them 12 conference losses. What are their other ones? 2 Vandy games. Those are 2 wins, and there's what's
and a Missouri, and an at South Carolina.
Okay, I feel like at South Carolina could be a loss, but all those other ones, you feel good about their finishing 4-2 down the stretch.
Yeah.
Tennessee's look, they've already gone to Kentucky and won, so you feel like they can win at home. But isn't that sort of Tennessee's MO is like, even tonight, they're not playing great against Missouri. Missouri had the lead at the half. Certainly Tennessee's taking it over, but I mean, this is, a 7A team playing a 2A team, and Tennessee should be owning this from the start. But Tennessee's got a tough stretch coming up. I mean, who do they play Saturday?
Who?
Tennessee.
Tennessee plays.
A&M at home.
A&M at home.
So they have A&M at home, who's really faltering. They're losing at Arkansas at home right now, and then they welcome in Auburn.
Apparently, Kentucky plays LSU Saturday. I was looking ahead.
Kentucky plays
earlier.
LSU tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
And plays Alabama Saturday.
Tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. That's what I meant.
So then Tennessee, they have to travel to Alabama. That's going to be that's going to be a tough game for both of them. I mean, because if Alabama's hot, Tennessee's going to have problems, but Tennessee's just so deadgum physical and strong and experienced. Again, and what's going to be a good game, I think, towards the end of the year is that Kentucky at Tennessee game. Kentucky's a very young team. I mean, they're big and they're brutes to some degree, but now they're better. They're a little more seasoned. I think they're tougher. I swear, I think going to Auburn made this Kentucky team a lot tougher. Like you come in with all the hype. I didn't think Kentucky had a chance. Did you?
Sure, I always think they have. Well,
I mean, it's Kentucky, but whatever.
Yeah.
I
felt like
Auburn had this long winning streak. Game days there. You knew the crowd was going to be nuts.
I said I'd take anybody against Auburn in Neville Arena.
Right.
I'd take my chances, sure.
So Auburn was an 8-point favorite, something like that. It was pretty big number, especially against Kentucky. I mean, how many times has Auburn been an 8-point favorite against Kentucky ever?
Not many.
I think Kentucky sort of took this. This is one of those things. I know some people hate the term, but this is one of those things where blue blood programs can sort of turn it on. Even though Kentucky has very few guys that have ever played in Neville Arena. Maybe nobody has ever played in Neville Arena that's on this team. Maybe. I don't know. But it's something about the aura of the school and because of who they are and because of their history that they didn't get shaken. When they went in there. I mean, some teams are bad matchups.
Yeah, and I think Kentucky may be a bad matchup for Auburn.
I'll say this, though. Kentucky's a bad matchup for anybody. I think it's about the mentality of the team. I think they've grown up, and it's scary for everybody else if they have grown up. Now, let's see if this continues. They got to travel to LSU. I mean, look, I'm not 100% sure they're going to win at LSU. Are you?
Oh, no. That's what I'm saying.
And then they got Alabama and Rupp. I feel like Kentucky will win that game, but it's not going to shock me if Alabama wins it. I think let's see how this team progresses, because now Kentucky is like the darling of basketball right now. I mean, I listen to a lot of sports talk radio in the morning nationally, and, they're all talking, this Kentucky team is as dangerous as anybody because of that one game. A week ago, everybody was saying John Calipari's underachieved. 1 week ago. Yeah. Because of one game where Auburn's, they're probably their best scorer gets hurt. Now, I think Kentucky would have won anyway, but still, that fact remains. Now Kentucky's the team to beat in the country, you know what I mean? It's just funny how quickly we can all change our opinions.
It's true. Got to take a break here, but never fear, we'll be back with hour number 2 of Sports Blitz Live right after these messages.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
When driving, wear a seatbelt, not a filter. What? Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. This is a message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
There's only one clear choice in the Lake Martin area for plumbing, heating, and air. That's All Clear Plumbing and Air. Our professionally trained technicians offer full service repair and installation on all major brands. From drips to water heaters, thermostats to entire air conditioning and heating systems, and everything in between. Our fast, reliable, and guaranteed top-notch customer service will keep you informed and up to speed through the entire process. Call us today or look for us on Facebook and Instagram at All Clear Plumbing and Air, 256-496-2056. License number 19172.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Gorees Furniture.
Your expressway to saving.
When driving, stay sober, not stoned. Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. This is a message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you, taking you up to 9 o'clock this evening. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us this evening. Talked a lot about about the college football playoff, a lot about basketball here in the first hour of tonight's program. Switch gears here a little bit and bounce around. Luke, true or false? I haven't done this in a little while. I would take Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams in the NFL draft.
Oh, I would. True. I mean, you're saying true, would you do it? True, would I do it?
I'm speaking for you. You put yourself in this sentence.
Luke would take Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams all day.
All day?
All day. There's no question.
Are
Again,
you the only one?
I think I am probably the only one, but I think in the end, this is, again, look, NFL scouts get enamored with measurables and potential, and the whole Caleb Williams phenomenon has been a thing for years now. But boy, some of the things he said, that I feel like if those don't count off for you, if they don't ring some bells, some things about like I want to own some of the team I'm drafted by. The fact that his team really didn't win anything, they didn't win a conference championship while he was there. They had it right there for the taking. Mm-hmm. They was there. They could have made the playoffs. They don't. Jaden Daniels did more with less in a better conference.
I would take Drake May over Jaden Daniels.
I personally would take Jaden Daniels before anybody. I would take, my order would be Jaden Daniels, Drake May, and Caleb Williams.
Okay.
Again, I don't get paid to evaluate these guys. Maybe there's some kind of aptitude test they're taking. Maybe there's, they're all looking at the 40 times. I'm not sure that Caleb Williams is faster than Jaden Daniels, but I've seen Jaden Daniels do a lot of big-time runs. I've seen him take an LSU team that didn't have much of a defense and do some pretty doggone good things with it.
Yeah.
I saw him lead a team against Alabama to beat them last year when they had Bryce Young on the squad. I love Jaden Daniels. I think he's great. I think he's a good kid too. And Caleb Williams, there's something about him that just doesn't feel right. Now maybe he ends up being awesome. Maybe he does. I don't care if he does or doesn't. But I'm just saying, if you're asking me who I'm taking, it's Jaden Daniels. And I'm biased towards the South, too. I mean, I'm biased towards the SEC teams. But I think that, the records and the yardage and the performance speaks for itself.
True or false, all Power 5 conferences should approve the use of tablets and on the sideline and helmet communication.
True. I don't know even what the argument against it is.
I don't know why we haven't done it so far. The ACC's apparently approved it. Why hasn't the SEC? Why are we late to the game here?
I mean, probably because they think everybody's going to now officially hire hackers. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it's silly we don't. Why don't we?
That's a good question.
I think we have a call. You want to take it?
I do not. Yes, let's do it.
Call, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. How's it going down that way?
It's really nice tonight. It's very pleasant.
All right. It's pleasant up here, too. Hey, listen, last Thursday I drove to Birmingham, and I went and saw Journey at the BJCC.
Oh, man.
And, yeah, and I ran into Brett Pritchard up there.
Okay, well, how was that?
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
It was okay. I've seen Journey at the Tuscaloosa Amp 3 or 4 years ago, and that was actually a better concert, I thought. But, yeah, I saw Brett Pritchard, and I said, hey, Brett Pritchard. And he looks at me like he don't know me from Adam. And I said, hey, David from Northport. And he said, oh, yeah, okay. And he shook my hand, and he said, thanks for calling, man. I said, sure. And I hate to tell on him, but he looked like he was headed over there to buy him one of those $60 T-shirts.
Well, it is funny that sometimes, I mean, I'm sure Andy's the same way. I know Brett is. I know Randy is. There will be some folks that say, we don't get to see y'all. So sometimes when you say hi and, we don't know exactly who are. So I'm glad you told him, and that's great.
How is Journey without Steve Perry?
Steve Perry, is he dead?
I think he's alive.
No. What's odd, though, is this tour was promoted as their 50-year anniversary tour, and they made absolutely no mention of Steve Perry in that whole concert.
Wow.
And, they didn't show a photo of him. I mean, 90% of all these songs that were hits were songs that, he recorded the vocals for, and they didn't even mention him in the concert where they're, celebrating the totality of their career. I didn't quite get that. But
well, I mean, does Don't Stop Believin' sound the same without Steve Perry?
Well, listen, this singer that sings for him now, this guy's good. I mean, if you think about it, he's toured more than twice as long with Journey now than Steve Perry ever did. And he's probably made a lot more money with Journey than Steve Perry ever did. But Steve Perry was kind of a weird guy, and they tried to reunite with him, but he just wouldn't do it.
What is he on his own or something? I don't mean to turn this into Journey Blitz. I swear to God, I would have gone to this going, where the hell's Steve Perry?
Well, for years, I'd heard that he had something wrong with his vocal cords or something, but it turns out that's not even correct. I don't think. He's fine. He's perfectly fine.
Yeah, he had something wrong with his vocal cords. They didn't like the words that was coming out of his mouth. But no, and again, Journey was great. I kind of wish I had done that too. That sounded like a fun concert.
Well, when Perry first left Journey in the mid '80s, I think he had a little bit of a solo career. He had that hit "Oh Sherry."
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought that was Journey too. That was just Steve Perry.
That was Steve. Yeah.
No, that was him in solo, but I ain't heard it from him since. But anyway, Luke, how did you get access to this Saban event? And second, did Saban talk at all about actually coaching against either Beamer or Bowden?
Yeah, he did. And he did coach against both at Alabama. I mean, he coached against Bowden his first year at Alabama and Jacksonville. I went to that game.
Okay, Bowden was still there that first year because I went to that game. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, and it was not. It was. I was in Jacksonville too. It was just a bad game. It wasn't a great game. It wasn't a fun game, really. It was just.
Oh, it was the most boring game I've ever been to in my life. It was still Alabama had still not scored in the fourth quarter, and I got up and started walking. I walked around. That's my first time in that stadium, so I just started walking around, checking the stadium out, and I watched Alabama score their inconsequential touchdown on a TV screen by the concession stand.
Yeah.
And then I wound up just walking out of there. That was a boring game.
And then he also played against Beamer in one of the kickoff classics, I call them.
Oh, yeah, I remember that now. And that was in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, and he had said something funny, and when he was up there, he said that hey, all I remember about that game is we were terrified to punt. I said, if we punt, they're going to score, whether they block it or return it. So he said, we can't punt very much. And I think Alabama ended up winning, relatively easily. I want to say that was the year. So Alabama played against Clemson in 2008. They may have even played Virginia Tech twice in Atlanta, but I know they played them once, and I think they started out in 2009 in Atlanta against them. I'll just have to go back and look. But, yeah, they were all very complimentary of other. But in terms of how I got access, a buddy of mine is in the Birmingham Monday morning quarterback club. This is sort of put on in conjunction with them. It benefits, I think, Children's Hospital. And they raise a lot of money for Children's Hospital. It's a great organization. And Nick Saban has been a part of this for 2 years. This is the first time it's at this venue. I didn't even know this venue existed, and I live in Birmingham. And it was really awesome. It was Red Mountain Theater. I was really impressed with it. They had a lot of highlights up there. Of course, they did the video that ESPN put out by Tom Rinaldi right when Saban retired. And, there wasn't a dry in the house and all this other stuff. But it was just a great, an intimate setting. I mean, I'm going to say maybe 200 people there. I mean, maybe plus or minus, and maybe a little bit more. But I thought it was really well done. Lauren Sisler, Rick Neuhauser there emceeing, and they were good. It goes to show, I think, and they kept Greg McElroy actually started out everything, and he went on about how, Birmingham is the mecca of college football. I mean, it just is. I mean, even when Alabama and Auburn aren't involved, the ratings for a college football national championship in Birmingham blow out everywhere else, especially when you consider when it's per capita. I mean, it's just crazy. And so it was cool to see, and I was very privileged to get to go. And I mean, it had nothing that I did. I just happened to know somebody.
Well, I know you guys got to go. I got one last question, Luke.
Sure.
If the Alabama basketball team goes up to Kentucky and beats Kentucky and shoots lights out and makes them look foolish and all that, is there any chance that Nate Oates might be coaching Kentucky next year?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, look, I feel very strongly about this, and again, I've talked to some folks that I can talk to about it. I think Nate Oates is, I don't know, I'm not going to say Alabama lifer. I mean, he's young. He's had a rocket-like career. I mean, he's gone from math teacher to winning the SEC 2 out of the last 3 years very, very quickly. But I think that he's going to be at Alabama for a while. I know his family loves Tuscaloosa. I think Greg Byrne is doing everything he can do to make sure he's as comfortable as he can be financially and every other way. I think Alabama is closer to getting this new arena done than people want to admit. And I think, some people are just scared, hey, it's never going to happen. I think it's going to happen. I think it just hadn't happened as soon as we wanted to, but now I think it's closer than we think it is. And Alabama's recruiting at an incredible level right now. They got the number 3 class in the country coming in next year. The state of Alabama, while it isn't a great year in high school in the state this year, it's just not a great year. I mean, I don't mean that taking a shot at any of the kids being recruited. It's just not a highly recruited year. Coming up, you got kids like Caleb Holt at Buckhorn, who's just unbelievable. You've got some good players in this state, and I think that there's enough resources here that he can be very happy. And look, again, there's a great opportunity at Kentucky for anybody who's there eventually. I don't think Calipari is going anywhere. The other side of it is you just keep doing what you're doing at Alabama, you'll get paid as much as you want. It's sort of like the Alabama football thing. I mean, are you comfortable being somewhere without that spotlight and doing pretty well? And every now and again you can have a mess up. But Kentucky, John, people are on John Calipari's butt all the time. We are, and we're not Kentucky fans.
Well, there's a lot more money involved at Kentucky, but also you got to please a lot more people than you do in Tuscaloosa.
No, that's right. And I mean, you earn that money when you're up there. And I think Nate Oates is a fabulous recruiter. I think he could do well anywhere he goes. I'm more worried about, a Michigan State down the road or something, but he seems to be very happy. I hope he is. I'm going to do this like I did the Nick Saban thing. At this point with Nate Oates, I want him to stay as long as he wants to. I'm going to enjoy the ride. I'm thrilled. I went Saturday for the A&M game. It was it's just so much. It's a different atmosphere. It's fun. We're fun to watch. I mean, I've been to a lot of games a few years ago with Anthony Grant and who was after that? Oh my God, help me!
Anthony something.
Anyway, Avery Johnson. I've been to a lot of those games, and even some of the Oates games in the very beginning. And I mean, I'm sitting there going, "Oh my God, why did I do this to myself?" David Hobbs years, I was in school for that. But Mark Gottfried had some lean years. But man, I went Saturday, and every game that we've even the games, Tennessee blew us out, Auburn blew us out. We're still a fun team to watch. I mean, we're pretty fun. We got some fun players. And Mark Sears, he can even have one more year. That's what nobody's really talking about to me. Because I don't know if he's an NBA player or not. I just hope we can get an NIL deal that makes him go, you know what, I'll stay in college one more year and maybe become one of Alabama's all-time leading scorers and keep this train rolling. I'd love to have Mark Sears another year.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. Sorry to shut you up, Andy, but
I like
favorite Journey song, Stone in Love. And I'll let you guys later.
All right, appreciate the phone call, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed the journey. We got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Inspired by the bold bison, Southern Union students blaze new trails every single day. They press forward knowing their SU education will lead them to success. Affordable, accessible, and locally unparalleled. Whether you're transitioning to a university or launching straight into a lucrative career, a degree from SU SDC can help you blaze your path. 3 locations, dedicated faculty and staff, endless possibilities. It's all waiting for you at Southern Union. It's time to venture forward. Register today.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Here are 3 great Chevrolet offers from Glenn Smith in Opelika. Check out the powerful full-size and fully loaded Chevrolet Silverado High Country, discounted up to $13,000 off. Or the roomy midsize 3-row SUV, the Chevy Traverse, discounted up to $8,000 off. And the perfect size Chevy Equinox, up to $7,500 off. No payments until summertime. Over 300 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. Only about 35 more minutes left in tonight's show. Thank you so much.
We're going to get out early.
We're going to get out.
Did you know?
Cross your fingers.
I didn't know Steve Perry would. I was so excited, too. I was like, that's a good, I might do that. Like, I might go to the Journey concert.
Without Steve Perry.
I'm not going to see a non-Steve Perry Journey.
But the other guy, he really does sound a lot like Steve Perry.
But it's funny.
He's a small, Asian-looking guy, which is so odd. Seeing him sing Open Arms.
I love David calling in and saying all this, and he said, "Hey, I think this guy's been with Journey more than Steve Perry was." But see, all we know from Journey is Steve Perry. Name somebody else in Journey.
Nobody. Yeah.
So I mean, if I'm Steve Perry, I'm like, I am Journey.
Maybe so. All right.
True and false.
Okay. True or what's the chances, Luke? The SEC moves to a 9-game league schedule in 2025.
I think it's getting close to 100%.
Okay.
It sure seems like there's a lot of movement towards that. Fine. Again, I'm not necessarily for it. I feel like, 9 SEC games. And then you look at, I can't speak for everybody else, but I can speak for Alabama, that I know in 2025, Alabama plays Wisconsin and Florida State in the non-conference. 9 SEC games and potentially an SEC championship with the playoffs. That's too much. That's too much for everybody. That's too much for the fans. That's too much for the coaches. That's too much for the players. It's just too much. I think if I'm Alabama, and again, some people say, don't ever back away of anything. If you're smart, you're going to cancel one of those Wisconsin or Florida State things, I think. Now, it may not happen, and maybe there's too much money on the table to make it happen. But, if I'm looking at, for instance, I've already started, me, I love to look ahead for the schedules. I love future schedules for some reason. And so I'm looking at 2025. And I'm thinking, okay, Alabama goes to Oklahoma. So logic tells me Alabama will probably host Texas in 2025. You'll probably swap those, because you want everybody to get a taste or something. And Auburn will go host Oklahoma this year, so they'll go to Texas. That makes sense to me. Instead of doing a home and home with Oklahoma right off the bat. That's what I think. I would also say Alabama will most surely play Florida because they don't play them this year in 2025. And who else do they have? Ole Miss. I bet you Ole Miss is back on the schedule. Mississippi State will almost assuredly be back on the schedule, I would think. The teams that Alabama didn't play this year, I think would go on the schedule. Same for Auburn, same for everybody else. Now, there'll be some that won't work out because it's just too much to try and deal with. Or here's the other thing. They might just throw everything out the window and start over. Yeah. That may be the only way to do it when all's said and done. And so that may mean Auburn could host Oklahoma again. Alabama could travel to Oklahoma again back-to-back years. It could. It's not crazy. I know Auburn's hosted Georgia twice in a year before. Or not twice in a year, but back-to-back years. So, I do think they'll go to a 9-game schedule, though. I'm very lukewarm about it, no pun intended.
Who leaves their current job first, by choice or fired? Hugh Freeze or Kellen DeBoer?
I'm leaning. I think here's the thing. I think both of them either one of them would need to be fired. So I would lean Hugh Freeze, but I'm not going to say either one of them with a lot of authority, because I don't think Hugh Freeze has another college job he wants to go to, and I don't know that another college job is going to reach out to him. You know what I mean? So I think that's sort of a mutual thing.
Until it's happened, no coach has left Auburn voluntarily since Suge Jordan.
You mean, and where did he go? You mean
He retired.
Well, I mean, oh, that's true because Pat died. Yeah, okay. You're saying I got you. I thought you were saying like left for another. I got you. It was Sonny Smith canned.
Well, I'm talking about football coaches.
Okay. That's true. I mean, but anyway, because I do think it's gonna. It's tough though because it's a tough question because I don't know how Kalen DeBoer is going to do yet. So I mean, I say that. I mean, I'm looking at it from an Alabama perspective of, I mean, recruiting's still going well. I think Alabama's recruiting will continue to go well. The facilities are still awesome. There's a lot of positivity still there, and the brand is still there. Hugh Freeze has a lot of building up to do to catch up to that. Even though his recruiting class was good this year, it was really good. You know, he was still behind Georgia and Alabama and Texas and teams you're going to be playing all the time. And I wonder, the one thing that does give me pause, though, is I feel like Alabama's schedule, especially the way they've scheduled non-conference, is much tougher than Auburn's coming up, you know, where they've got Cal coming in this year, then Baylor home and home. Baylor's gone in the tank, and then UCLA home and home. UCLA's head coach just left to be an offensive coordinator somewhere else. So, you know, that's another thing. If we're going to go to a 9-game schedule, if I'm Alabama, I'm saying either everybody catches up scheduling wise, or we're backing off. And I'm fine doing either way. I don't care which way they go. But I'm leaning Hugh Freeze, but it's like a 50.1 to 49.9. I don't think either one of them would leave for another gig. I really don't. But I think certainly one of them could be fired.
Same question. Who leaves their job first, fired or by choice? Chip Kelly or Bobby Petrino?
Whew, that's tough. I'm going to say, I'm going to say Bobby Petrino because I mean I think that's the smart money.
Chip Kelly's a journeyman, but
he's a journeyman. But,
so is Bobby Petrino,
and he's at Ohio State. He's got a good gig now. If I'm Chip Kelly, I looked at Mickey Andrews, you know, last night at that thing.
Why do you leave a head coaching job if you're not going to go to Ohio State and stay for a while?
Well, exactly. And you know, maybe you're thinking, here's the other thing, Chip Kelly, he's probably like Bobby Petrino this way. They probably look at a job and go, well, not only can I go there and if things work out, if things are going great, I could be the coordinator for a while, make as much money, less pressure. Recruiting just happens, you know, at Ohio State. But if something happens to Ryan Day, guess who's right there? Bobby Petrino does that too, probably like, if something happens to Sam Pittman.
Oh, you know good and well.
Here I am.
I think, I'm telling you, I saw this, and I called this 2 years ago. You know, Bobby Petrino will be back at Arkansas, and he will be the head coach after they fire Sam Pittman after this year.
But Bobby Petrino is like, he's simultaneously 3 steps ahead of everybody and 4 steps behind everybody. Because I think he's thought out the plan, and when he's right there to make everything happen, he's like, nobody's going to catch me with this volleyball player on this moped. Y'all crazy. He wrecks the moped.
I know.
That's the dumbest. There's got to be a 30 for 30 on that, right?
I would hope. Surely. Let's see. We got time. Yeah, we got. I think we may be.
Just make time, Andy. It's your show.
We may be a break behind. I don't even know.
Well, we'll catch up at the end when we leave early.
Okay. Over or under 75,000 Alabama fans in attendance for the spring game?
I'm going to go over, being optimistic. My gut tells me under because, I mean, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know how Alabama fans are for the most part. And again, I do an Alabama podcast. I do this show, talk Alabama all the time with friends or whatever. But I'm tired, man. So this is the truth. On the podcast, we also do it on YouTube, right? So I was doing the show.
This show's on YouTube too.
Right? I know, but I'm not. More people probably watch us on TV versus YouTube. And same theory applies. But somebody watched it, and they comment, like, we get a lot of comments on YouTube, like whatever we say. And somebody said, Luke, I mean this with all sincerity. I know what chronic fatigue looks like, and I think you have it. And I was like, Oh, my God.
Thanks a lot.
Somebody else also said, I really, and Jimmy and I both get, you both get sort of love letters and hate mail. Like that. But one guy said,
if you knew his schedule,
yeah,
you wouldn't even, you don't even know the half of it.
But one guy posted, I really like the Locked On format. I don't like the host. I'm the host technically. Jimmy's the insider, but I'm the host. He's like, he always seems to have a perpetual frown. Like he's always mad. And I was like, if I didn't already suffer from depression, this would make me depressed. It's like, it is a reminder that, I remember when we first started doing Sports Blitz, when we first started doing AHSAA stuff and I was on the radio and whatever, another friend of mine who I don't talk to terribly much, especially at the time, he contacted me out of the blue. He goes, man, I love watching all Sports Blitz. I think it's great. He said, but does it not just frighten the hell out of you? And I said, what are you talking about? He said, people are at home going, saying something crappy about you all the time. And I'm like, yeah, I guess the only difference is they were doing that before. I just wasn't on TV. So at least this time I'm getting paid a little bit for it.
Exactly.
So
you're getting a paycheck.
But and it is funny that we do getting recognized somewhere else, because we certainly, trust us, we certainly don't think of us as people who should be recognized.
No.
If anything, I feel like we should be shunned.
Pointed out and excoriated. Over or under 8 SEC teams in the NCAA tournament?
All right, well, let's count them down. Auburn, Alabama, Kentucky, Tennessee, South Kakalaki.
Florida?
All right, Florida's in right now. So there's 6. Now, you get to somebody like an Ole Miss. Ole Miss played a bunk non-conference schedule, and
but they won them all.
They're on a downward trajectory right now. They did, but I learned my lesson in, I think it was 2001, when Alabama had a much better record in Georgia, beat Georgia head up. I think they beat them twice that year. And Georgia got in at, I think, 16-14. Alabama was 22-9 or something and didn't get in. And the explanation was, if you don't play anybody, we ain't going to give you credit for it. And so
Mississippi State 17-8, 6-6 in the league.
Mississippi State's tricky. They have a good win against Auburn. Did Mississippi State beat Kentucky? They beat somebody else. Oh, they beat Tennessee at home. Mm-hmm. So Mississippi State has 2 good wins. Okay, I can see Mississippi State in. There's 7. Now, who else is left that's out there?
Texas A&M's 15-10.
Texas A&M's, I think
6-6.
They need all kind of help. I assume they lost tonight. They were down. I'll look it up in the break. And then they go to Tennessee this weekend. That doesn't bode well, considering they blew Tennessee out at home last time. I think Tennessee will get revenge. Arkansas is not getting in unless they win the tournament. Vandy, Missouri, definitely out.
So 8 on the nose.
I think it could be 8 on the nose if Ole Miss sneaks in. Which, boy,
well, actually,
we shouldn't be disappointed with that.
Mississippi State would have to sneak in, too.
I don't know if Mississippi State's sneaking in. I think they're pretty good. Mississippi State's pretty good.
Well, they play tomorrow. Is that right? Yeah.
They play Ole Miss tomorrow?
Ole Miss and Mississippi State played in Starkville tomorrow.
Well, I think Mississippi State already went there and won, didn't they? Did Mississippi State beat them there?
No, I think Auburn's the only one that's beat them in. Or did they? I'm not sure. I thought they had only lost 1 game at home.
It's a shame we don't have a sports show.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll look this up during the break.
In Mississippi.
Yeah.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All in an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moore's Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Lake Area Realty specializes in Lake Martin real estate. They can help simplify your next real estate purchase or sell and have helped many home buyers and sellers through the area buy and sell real estate with precision. Lake Area Realty utilizes powerful marketing tools and knowledge of the lake to help you with your next move. Call your local hometown agency today. Lake Area Realty at 256-825-4800. That's 256-825-4800. Lake Area Realty, helping you find your way home.
Have you stopped by Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store lately? If you haven't, you should. You'll find great pieces for your favorite do-it-yourself project. Lightly used name brand clothing by Free People, North Face, Matilda Jane, Patagonia, and a whole lot more. And while you're there, don't miss the shoes, decorative pieces, classic and new books, and Auburn and Alabama gear that won't cost you a fortune. So stop and shop at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store today for a unique thrift experience that won't break the budget. Lifesavers Mission Thrift, located on East University behind Zaxby's.
Hi, this is Andrew McGreer at Dunning Roofing. At Dunning Roofing, we specialize in high-quality, premium roofs. We don't build roofs that just meet code requirements. We build quality roofs with premium materials that significantly exceed our competitors' warranties. We put money on your roof, not in our pockets. If you're looking for a top-quality roof, call Dunning Roofing today for your free quote at 256-307-7601 or visit us at DunningRoofingAL.com for more information.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you, taking you up to 9 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and make this the final segment of Sports Blitz Live on this beautiful Tuesday evening. And because we're a break behind, we'll go and let them catch up.
Chronic fatigue.
Chronic fatigue. And Luke has chronic fatigue.
And let me, this is another thing that's funny with it. So my 7-year-old daughter, we went to Lake Tahoe a couple of weeks ago. While I was out there, she's pretty creative and quick-witted, and she said, "Dad, I'm going to call you the Russian." The Russian?
The Russian.
And I was thinking, like, okay, like, who was the guy in Ivan Drago? I was like, okay.
Yeah, okay.
You know, she goes, "No, because you're always Russian everywhere." I said, dang it. And she has been calling me her biological father, who loves her very much, provides for her, the Russian. Like, daddy is 50-50 on Russian or daddy now. My children do not respect me enough, Andy.
Not a bit.
I don't blame them.
Well,
they're like everybody else.
Like everybody else in life. Yeah, why not? Hottest seats in 2024. Number one on the list, Sam Pittman.
I mean, how's his seat not just a
23 and 25.
God, I wish I could look up. I'm not going to look up by the way, Ole Miss did beat Mississippi State at Ole Miss. I'm not going to look up their schedule, but I know it's tough.
Yeah, it's always tough.
I mean, they don't play Alabama this year. Do they play Auburn? I think they do.
I think we do.
Good luck. I mean, good luck to anybody in this conference. If you look, here's the thing. Like I said about Arkansas and Vandy, maybe I thought Missouri, but Missouri's they're picking up steam a little bit, or Mississippi State, especially those three. You were already on the lower rung, and now we've gotten two more teams in here that have knocked you down more. Like, how does Texas coming into this conference help Mississippi State or Vanderbilt or Arkansas? It doesn't.
It doesn't. Not a bit.
There's, it was like when Rutgers came into the Big Ten, Purdue was like, whew. We don't have one of those.
Dave Aranda, number 2 on the list.
I feel like
at Baylor.
Boy,
23 and 25 as well.
It wasn't that long ago that
they won the conference and went 12-2, and then
they've fallen off a cliff. And Alabama went and got their offensive line coach and their linebackers coach, I think. So it's tough out in the streets right now, Andy. It's tough. If you're a Baylor, I mean, it's, basketball wise, they're doing great. They're doing fine. Football wise, it's tough right now. And as I read on ESPN, like some of these group of 5 teams are going, we're just feeder schools now.
Yeah.
And that's what they are.
Billy Napier, number 3 on the list, 11 and 14.
All right, I do know his schedule. I think everybody knows their schedule. I mean, they got Central Florida, tough. Miami, and Florida State. They go to Texas. They got Georgia. I think they got LSU somewhere. Again, more power to you, son. But you're gonna need it. And they lost a couple of guys. They had a great recruiting class. And it didn't fall apart, but they lost some dudes. That DJ Lagway they signed ended up being, by some people, considered the number 1 quarterback in the class. But you're going to need more than that. I mean, Florida's got problems, and that's the thing is people keep saying it's so easy to fix them now with the transfer portal. You still got to have the right leadership, and I don't know if they do. And I feel bad for him. I thought Billy Napier would be good there. I really did.
I did too. Rounding it out, Pat Narduzzi at Michigan, at Pittsburgh, 65 and 50 overall, and he's on the hot seat at Pittsburgh. Really, Clark Lee at Vanderbilt, 9 and 27.
I'll tell you how bad Clark Lee's hot seat is. You could have put him on Dead or Alive, and I would have been 50-50.
I'm not sure I could pick Clark Lee out of the lineup.
Well, he's pretty bald. I mean, I think.
I would say half the population is.
There are a lot of. I mean, I'm not taking a shot at him, saying, but how many other bald coaches are in the SEC? That's how I would know him.
Okay.
You would need to tell me
in context.
These are the. I mean, but that also isn't that the beauty of the SEC coaches? I mean, all of them for the now again, Kalen DeBoer, we're going to have to see how it goes, but most of them there's so much personality. Like Sam Pittman, he is Arkansas personified. Like if Arkansas were a person, it'd be Sam Pittman, right? I mean, and Texas, Steve Sarkisian, he's like Austin, Texas. If you've ever been to Austin, Texas, that's Steve Sarkisian. Shane Beamer's kind of I saw him last night at that thing. He's kind of South Carolina, like super excited all the time, and he's got his act together, but you just know they're not going to win it all. I mean,
there's nothing to be excited about.
He's super excited, but you're not really sure why.
All right, quickly, Jeff Daniels, happy birthday to him yesterday, born on this day, 1955. Arachnophobia, Speed, Dumb and Dumber, Pleasantville, The Martian.
All right, Pleasantville's last.
That is not a bad movie.
It's not. I wouldn't. If Pleasantville were on, I'm not watching it. Not purposely, but I'm like, there's no chance I'm watching that.
Okay.
All right, here, Dumb and Dumber is clearly number 1 on this list, and there's not a second. I mean, clearly. I like The Martian.
I like Speed. I like
Speed.
I like The Martian.
That was another thing that was Homer Simpson said. I think maybe we talked about that off air, where Homer was just like, I remember watching a movie once about a bus that if it ever slowed down, it'd blow up. It was called The Bus That Couldn't Slow Down. But all right, Arachnophobia.
Another great reference to Seinfeld. It's with that girl from the bus.
Yeah, that's right. That's good.
I saw a very provocative movie.
But Arachnophobia, this is true. So my first car ever was a Mustang convertible. and it had the vinyl top, convertible thing, right? And I went to Montgomery to go see Arachnophobia. I think it came out when I was either late in high school or early in college, and I went to go see it by myself. Oh, it had to be when I was in high school.
I was going to say early to mid-'90s.
Yeah. So I think I was a senior in high school, maybe in the summer, looking for something to do, and I went to Montgomery to go see it. Scared the hell out of me. I mean, the movie is good, but I hate spiders now because of it. I come out to my car, and everybody's kind of leaving a little shaken because it had a lot of jump scares. And of course, I have a vinyl top, so it's got some little moldy spots that get on vinyl and whatever in the South in the summer and whatever. And I'm unlocking my car, and I look up and see one of those moldy spots, and I immediately thought it was a spider. I'm talking about I slung my keys up in the air, went backwards. I was by myself. Everybody around me lost it laughing. I was friends with none of them. But they just happened to be there, and they were just rolling. They were all like, we would have done that too.
Yeah.
I mean, this was bad. But Dumb and Dumber first, Speed second, Martian third, Arachnophobia, Pleasantville.
Okay. Benicio del Toro, also born yesterday on 1967.
He wasn't born yesterday.
No, not born. Well, yeah, he was born. The Usual Suspects.
That's one.
Yeah. China Moon.
Never saw it.
Very good. Him and Ed Harris, you need to see that one. Very good movie. License to Kill.
That's good.
James Bond movie.
Yeah.
Traffic. I
That's
didn't
good.
see it.
That's good.
I heard it was good.
Well, it's tame by today's standards. Back when it came out, it was a big deal.
Sin City and The Wolfman.
The Wolfman was kind of
It was okay.
Jack Nicholson was in it.
No, that's not this one.
This was that's Wolf.
This is like the remake of the old
I didn't see that one.
It's not bad.
But
that's why I put it on there, because I saw that one and didn't see Traffic.
Sin City is based on a graphic novel, and Jessica Alba's in it. And I could never get into it. It's black and white.
Bruce Willis is
occasionally red.
Yeah,
it was weird.
It's kind of weird. It's one of those arty kind of.
Yeah, I can't do it, man.
Yeah,
I don't have time anymore. I don't have much time left on Earth. I can't be trying to figure out these.
Usual Suspects is number 1, number 2, and number 3 on this list.
Oh, Usual Suspects, so good.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
If you hadn't seen it,
is that the one about the hooker with dysentery? No, okay.
It's the one with
all
the
right,
bus.
that's going to wrap it up for us on this edition of Sports Blitz Live. We appreciate so much all of you out there being with us. Be sure to join us next week, same bat time, same bat channel. He is Luke Robinson. I'm Andy Graham. So long for now, everybody. We'll talk again soon.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe, wickedly delicious. Relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours. Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
When drinking, take a sober ride home, not someone's life. Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. This is a message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
At Russell Medical, we're proud of our exceptional nurses, like Nurse Brandy Worthy. Brandy represents the selfless, compassionate clinical leader patients expect and coworkers admire. Brandy was recently honored with the Nightingale Award for Nursing Excellence for her high standards, sound judgment, and caring manner. Her passion for her profession inspires us all.
Being a nurse is not just what you do, it's who you are. I'm proud to be a part of the nursing team at Russell Medical. We are the link between all hospital services, providing you with exceptional, personalized care.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Main Street Family Urgent Care.
Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care, open 7 days a week.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Fill your tank, not your wine glass. What? Why is there a wine glass in your car? Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. This is a message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
It's truck season at AHSAA Automotive. New Honda Ridgelines, $349 a month. Ford Rangers, $357 a month. Nissan Frontiers, $379 a month. And Chevrolet Silverados, $399 a month. At AHSAA Automotive. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty, no charge, engine, powertrain, and more. It's truck season at AHSAA Honda, Tony Serra Ford, Serra Nissan, and Serra Chevrolet.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
Have you met your local Farmers Insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
This is Kalijah Country, Lake Martin's best country. Kalijah Country 97.5.
Country look good on you. Tearing up an old two-lane too. Way down in Alabama, where they love Nick Saban. Trying to write a song, the local country station will play.
Lake Martin's best country. Kalijah Country 97.5.
Have you met your local Farmers Insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
This is Kalijah Country, Lake Martin's best country. Kalijah Country 97.5.
Country look good on you. Tearing up an old two-lane too. Way down in Alabama, where they love Nick Saban. Trying to write a song, the local country station will play.
Lake Martin's best country. Kalijah Country 97.5.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this, the Sportz Night Guard. Now the Sportz Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Sportz Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to BruxNightGuard.com and order yours today.